Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
That was stunning. Hi.
Yeah. Do you want me to do? I can do this. Wait. I've actually got this for you. Ready. I've got this for you. Why is it? Oh no, I haven't. Oh bugger, I haven't done it. I'll do it. I'm so down. Sorry, wrong bit. Here we are. Here we are.
That was
Hello. There you go.
awesome. I'm excited to learn about this poet because no, I do not know. Was it Samuel Coleridge?
Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Coleridge. Awesome.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about him, but uh, but I want to give the floor to Miss J for a little while because
Oh well, thank you. That's nice. All right, so I've got my disclaimer up, and then I'm going to put my other stuff. Hello, my lovely. I'm so pleased to have been able to get your book. I really enjoyed what I saw of your what you've been doing over the last couple of years, and it's taken a lot of strength, and I've admired that from a distance on how you have managed to bring your life to where it is now, and it's phenomenal. And I want to just say well done on that for getting out of that. Incredible. Um, so what I wanted to ask you, lots of
Thank
questions.
you.
What yeah, what made you decide to do a book? What did you go, right, do you know what? I've just got to put this down. I've got to write this shit out. I've got to do it.
Uh, well, I always wanted to write a book, and I never wanted to write a book about myself, but I realized that that's what I had to do. I don't know how else to explain it other than it just kept me awake at night. And if I didn't write it, I was going to lose my mind. There it is. And there's been a huge, a part of it was I knew it would bring something for me. I knew it would do something for my life. I'm still not quite sure what that's going to be, but every part of
Do
me
you
was
feel?
saying, be
Yeah.
honest.
Do you feel like, oh yeah, do you know that bit there? That's just sorted that bit out. I had this niggle that was there, and it just needed sorting out. And if I didn't do this, and it's made things maybe giving you a bit of peace, maybe on some of this.
Yeah, peace from some of the stuff in the past, but it's also brought me some new anxieties. Pretty vulnerable out there. But yeah, what's in the book are things that I think a lot of stories my friends know, like things that I had told them over the years. Like maybe we're at a cocktail party and someone's talking about their life, and pretty soon I look around and everyone's just staring at me with their mouths open, like, wait, what happened to you? And I'm just kind of, like, oh yeah, well, that was my life. I grew up as a third generation ex-Scientologist and went to, Scientology boarding school, and I don't want that to be my whole identity, but I really felt like I needed to take it back, and to add the pothead was like me really owning it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care anymore.
Mhm.
Not even specifically about the pothead part, but just in general. I think it's a reflection of how far I've come. And a lot of my best friends have actually said, wow, you really did it. Like, you really went full on with that whole title. And I just had to. Like, I wouldn't have been
Uh,
proud of myself if I didn't. Like, it would bother me.
Well, yeah, you're owning your identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And my past and the things that had happened. And I mean, it's been a big goal of mine to see if I could take that, my life, and like help somebody else's life. I'm always trying. I don't know that I'm succeeding, but I'm trying.
I've
I,
with this, I've said to myself, if I can help one person, just see, and open the door, just one person, and I'm doing good. I'm doing this right. I'm doing this the right way. And I think, you should take that, for yourself as well, because you've done an incredible thing, and every single person that you help, that it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal and fantastic. And hold on to that. Hold on to
Thank
that.
you. I'm very much trying to savor those moments, as I get that feedback. Because it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange when, like, on TikTok, someone will message and say, like, wow, you're really helping me get out of a different cult, or you're really helping me.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to reconcile that sometimes. That's kind of what I want to do, but I'm not like checking boxes. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm still kind of finding my way. So, yeah.
Well, that's all. That's what life's all about, just finding your way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I have the luxury of doing that now. Like, I grew up in Scientology. I didn't get to do that before. So I try to think of that sort of abyss, because it can be scary, right? Like, as an artist, or like, it's an abyss out there, and you fill it with yourself. No harder task.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get the luxury of being able to do that my way now. So I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. So what with the pothead thing? So how did that happen? How did you like go, you know what, I'm gonna just have a joint and I'm just gonna see what this is all about? What made you decide to do that? What was the thing that made you do it?
I mean, first, when I was a teenager, I would say I was drawn to anything that made me feel different. So it was self-medicating. But over the years, I have come to learn cannabis a lot. I don't even think I put it in maybe I did. I actually worked in medical, recreational. I had a hemp farm here. So I've actually grown many plants. And then I was a assistant for a hemp lawyer here in Oregon for several years, and got to go like do a bunch of advocacy and stuff. So now cannabis means so much to me. It's like, I mean, borderline new religion.
I'm
there
with
is.
you. I'm totally with you on this.
You-
It has, and you wrote something about how you haven't had to make a choice between your family or a plant, and
Yeah.
I relate to that I very much so relate to that, because I'm also I've come out of a cult sort of thing. So with my situation, that's what I did. I self-medicated with that. I experimented with every possible drug I could think of to try and get myself to understand why I had a feeling that was different, because every time I thought about it, I'm like, I don't get this doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, deep down, but I couldn't say it, couldn't ever say it,
right,
couldn't talk about it. But when I smoked a joint, I'm sat there with my mates and I'm talking about it as a kind of like, we're all hippies sat down in Manchester during the Manchester scene, and I'm talking about it openly there. And it changed my world completely. Yeah, and I relate so much to what you've written there. We can't have hemp, we can't grow stuff here.
Right. Well, and most of the United States, that's the thing. I mean, that's another thing I say in my book. I'm like, oh, if it's illegal where you are, sorry, you gotta go. You gotta go somewhere else. Because in Oregon, we can have 4 household plants. Every household can. So
I wish they'd do that here, but I know for 100% fact, when it finally becomes legal, they'll regulate the shit out of it. So
yeah,
the federal side of it, the whole.
No, I'm talking state. Because the way they're probably going to end up doing it, hi Jen. The way they're probably going to end up doing it is let the states decide what they want to do. That's the beauty and the drawback of the federalist system. They have to work within that framework. And a good example is just what recently happened with Roe versus Wade. Not to get political, but the Supreme Court decided, and every state got the chance. They kicked it back to the states. I live in a very conservative, rural state, so it takes us on certain things. we're 15, 20 years behind the curve, you know. And when a state like Oregon, it's 20 years ahead of the curve, 10, 20 years ahead of the curve. So it just all balances out.
Cannabis wise, we tend to be on par with Colorado as far as but beyond 4 plants, it's very high. It's highly regulated beyond that. But you know,
but 4 plants is perfect.
That's
4 plants is literally perfect, isn't it? You know, and that maintains you, and you can continue and have a really lovely life, you know, and be able to put things where they should be, and it, you know, I use it for pain. I have a complex disability, and I'm allowed to have it. So I'm very lucky in the United Kingdom out of people here. I'm allowed to, because but I have to do it privately. So it has to be done privately for me, you know? Yeah. So I'm just so, I'm so pleased like to meet somebody else who's like gone through this, and they've used marijuana as their, I can see, like, you know, it's helped you see the truth and go through the truth.
It did.
How did you, go on. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it also introduced my body to a feeling that I couldn't access on my own, like almost a form of relaxation, because I didn't know I had been in a constant fight or flight for so long in my development, for so many years. And I know there are medications that also do this. You know, seek your doctor. I'm certainly not a doctor. I'm just a person that survived. And part of how I survived was understanding, like, whoa, there is some feeling in my body that I can access. Of course, now that I've had some therapy and I have other tools in my tool belt, I can access that feeling of maybe not being, quote, high, but, you know, I can relax in other ways. But there was a period of time when that muscle memory of feeling and emotion hadn't been formed yet. And I was just kind of bouncing around. And that was one thing I could do to, and, you know, as you read in my book, I had like some loopholes with my religion. It just checked some certain boxes for me that I could do it with. I don't know. I could do it. And that's what I did.
Yeah. And those loopholes was a very clever way of actually removing yourself from Scientology. It's another completely new story that's different again from everybody else that I'm listening to and hearing about who've escaped or, you know, got away from Scientology. And do you want to just quickly say what happened with you, what you did,
about
how you escaped or left, I should say.
All of it, or are you thinking of a specific story?
No, just the end bit where you went, you know what, I can see what's going on here, and you sort of had a sight. Didn't you have to do the purify about 5 or 6 times and stuff like that, and then you were like, actually, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
is that
so
right?
many
Have
times.
I got that right?
So many times. Well, and there were times throughout my life when I would say, you know, this is bonkers. This whole Scientology thing is bonkers. And I was very open about it. I mean, I told them at one point, like, I'm going to go smoke marijuana. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this purification again, because you're telling me it's a perfect science. You're telling me at the Church of Scientology that this will remove all toxins from my body. I'm a teenager. I should probably go explore with marijuana and then come back. And if I leave now, I don't have to pay for it again. And I just left. And that was when I was, 15. But the problem is I still believed forever that Scientology had the answers for everything. So when I did have a problem, I went running back. And I always so vulnerable. So it's hard for me, like when you ask me the final time, it's tricky for me. Because I suppose the final time, honestly, was when I went on the Leah Remini show, because that was the one that was when I finally did something unforgivable. All the other stuff, I had kind of put a toe in here and a toe out there, and I'd made a mess, but I went back and I paid my money and I did my dues, and I still had some potential as being a Scientologist, and I had 2 kids. So there was some value in still recruiting me, like keeping me, it's okay. You can come back. Because they love those 4th generation. Scientologists.
Wow.
They're like, wow, you've had generations do all the work for us. Give them to us. Give them to me.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway, so I hope that answers your question. There were a lot of times.
It's amazing. It's I understand what you're saying there. You know, because I do it, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. You know, I can relate so much to what you're saying. And let me just get the questions up because I'm stoned out. It's one day. Right. We got your questions up.
I love that you have questions about my book. It's so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Yeah, not just you being an author. I've got 2 authors
I
on
know.
the channel
I want to
now.
talk about
that. Oh, yeah, that was another one. So you've just answered the one about Leah Remini, because I was going to ask about when did the light bulb go on. So how did your involvement in Scientology impact you and your family, and what happened when you left? How was that? What happened there?
You mean like my husband and my children? That family?
And your parents as well.
It was so hard. It totally, right. I mean, it completely just ripped us apart, basically. And it took us a while to, like, I don't know how to explain it. So we ended up getting evicted from the property a month before we had said we were going to move out. We'd lived there for 10 years. You know, our family had the property for 100 years. So we're just talking a lot of stuff, and you know how that is when you're going to move. Problem is we didn't know where we were going to go. We had a lot of limitations. I partially worked for the property, so it was just like a big mess. So we actually were essentially homeless for a while.
Right.
So I moved in with my husband's parents with our 2 kids for a bit, and my husband stayed in a place that we deemed not safe enough for our children that he would stay. And it was just awful. And my parents, they just left. My stepdad just changed his phone number, I think. He just never said anything. And I wrote the final goodbye to my mother. I had a like, I'm going to break up with you before you break up with me type moment. It wasn't one moment, actually. I went to therapy. It was 6 weeks of 6 weeks of panic attack, 6 weeks of therapy. My mom kept saying, because I kept saying to her, Mom, are you going to disconnect from me? Like, what's happening? You're in Florida. Like, I'm stressing out. I'm so stressed out. And she was like, well, she said, I'm not going to do anything stupid if you're not going to do anything stupid. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Everything I do is kind of stupid, which I did end up doing something according to her, very stupid by going on that television show. But I couldn't deal with it. So I wrote her a letter. I wrote it in Scientologese. I said, here's your letter. Take it to OSA. You can let them know that we don't have a relationship anymore and you can move on with your Scientology business. And I didn't hear her again. So that first couple of years, I just cried and cried. I would wake up. I had really bad dreams. And so I would wake up with all the physiological feelings of having spent hours fighting with my family and trying to take care of my kids. I tried to start supporting myself financially. I had a really tough time. I started a new job, and I couldn't keep it. I couldn't think. I couldn't retain any information. I don't know how to explain it. I stopped functioning. And I think, I checked out. And that was really hard for my husband. Really, really hard. And he went into work mode. He was actually living at his work site, basically. So he was just trying to, like, get us into a position that we could, we ended up getting a trailer. And we stayed in that for about 9 months, family of 4. So, yeah, I guess my whole point is to say that, like, it was really hard for us. We were so lucky that he could stay there. We were lucky we did get a trailer that we could stay in. I was lucky I did have his parents. That was a safe place for me and my children continued to have love and stability when I was not quite there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you
just switched up. It just went dunk. Enough now. Your body just went dunk.
Yes.
And what with that, you can always just build on that and build on that, because everything is whatever happens, you can only go up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you can only go up, and you've done fantastically well. You know, that to hear that was the first time you really disconnected was on that show. I mean, amazing. Again,
Hey,
amazing that you did that.
it's 4:20.
Thanks.
Oh shit, it's 4:20. Here we are. They're gonna get me doing it.
Was I supposed to bring something to the party? I'm gonna imbibe coffee with you guys. It's very early in the morning.
That's fine. You know, we didn't expect you. I didn't give you the full details, so I didn't expect you to, you know, to participate.
Yay!
So yeah, when I came up with the idea for this, you know, you see people on YouTube doing reaction videos, and they're doing their thing, and I'm like, no one's done that with poetry, at least nothing that I could find. So that's when I approached Miss J, and now we're here.
Love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we when I'm well enough, because I can't do it every Sunday because I'm not not sort of well enough to do it every week. But when I do, you know, it's normally this time. We normally do it now, so that we'll just sit there and have a little bit of a 4:20. But UK times, it's 4:20 over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hence the time.
So everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. You lovely people. Yes, please do.
So do you want to get on to some poetry? You got any more questions for Liz here?
I do actually. I've got this one here.
Okay.
So, do you have a belief system now, or of any sorts?
Yes and no. Nothing formulated. I don't attend organized religion. I don't attend a church. I have attended churches in the past, and I'm still exploring, I suppose is the best answer for that. I'm open for sure.
When I did this, when I said when I came out of what my situation, what happened with me, I did this huge, I've got to see every religion and understand every religion, and then I can format my own opinion on it all. And I feel that there is an energy in this world, and we are part of this energy, and it is invisible. When we see somebody, we know straight away how we're going to feel about them, and we have to use that instinct. But religion batters that instinct away from us, and that's what I think. That's my personal view on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, my religious I lean more towards what I call the middle way. I have you know, a lot of Buddhism. You know, I've been studying that for the last several years with a Christian background. You know, I just try to find balance. The golden rule rules. So, you know, I like being nice to people, and I expect people to be nice to me. You know, but you know, the golden rules: don't be a dick. Yeah, that's what Doug said. Doug said one time when I was talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, just don't be a dick."
It's right. It's actually above my front door. It says, "Don't be a dickhead." That's above my front door. So before you come into my house, it's "Don't be a dickhead."
Yeah.
True.
I love it.
Yeah.
To address in the chat there, I saw that Marilyn was asking if there was a bird she was hearing. Yes, I got my front door open, and you can hear all the birds and stuff out in my front yard.
That's it. That's my questions. Let me get my thing up. I want to talk to you quickly, Poet.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. I found it. Sorry, I found the bit that I was looking for. Memories carved in so much dust, which is, gosh, where is it?
Now I got my.
Well, no.
Yeah, she actually got it.
I got it. Can you see? I don't know if you can see.
So it is available in England.
Oh, it's upside down. Yeah. And actually, I got that when I was in England, so it wasn't a Croatian buy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then do you want to just read it? Do you want to read the bit at the beginning of it? I'm going to be cheeky and get you to do it.
Which one?
Have you got
the first poem? You want me to read the first poem?
I wanted you to read the. Where is it? not not the chapters. Yeah. The first one. The first one.
The day she stood at the edge of the sea. I can tell you all about that one. Right, that one I did my very first video I did on that one, and that one came about because of a writing exercise in a poetry class I took when I was in college. The instructor, whose name is Terry Wright, he had us do this exercise called 1 minute poems. Everybody in the class came up with a title, and then they go around the class. You say your title. We all had a minute to write. You say your title. We all had a minute to write. And this one girl came up with the title, "The Day She Stood at the Edge," and I just added "of the sea" to the end of it. And it goes, "The moon was out and all about was bathed in mystery. She went away on the day she stood at the edge of the sea. You will find, look behind and you will find she left a husband and family. She didn't care. She was there and nowhere else could be. In her face, you'll see that place. For her, it holds the key. Don't ask why. Just watch her fly as she stands at the edge of the sea." Yeah, that
beautiful.
Yeah, that just came to me. I call it a tiny miracle. Like when the girl said "the day she stood at the edge," it was just like boom, of the sea, up, 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 up. That cadence and the rhyme all just boom right there. So that's the beauty of being a writer or an artist. I know you can identify, Liz, and y'all can identify. It's just beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you get that perfect spark where you actually think of something, then you actually get it on paper, and then you look at it, and it actually looks like what you wanted it to be, is like a miracle moment.
Which brings me to the first poem that we're going to go over today with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, because this poem has a unique story. Okay, Coleridge lived in a time where there was a lot of opium and stuff coming in and all that stuff. Well, he frequented those opium dens that they had in London and all that stuff, and he had a very vivid dream. And when he woke up out of that dream, he had this poem fully formed in his head, and he was writing it down. And he got to a certain point. I can't recall right off the top of my head where he got. Someone knocked on his door and it went poof. He lost the rest of it. I've had that happen in my life.
That happens to me all the time.
I call it a Kublai Khan moment. Like the earliest one I can remember is when I was still in college. I woke up from a dream, not an opium-induced dream, probably pot-induced dream or whatever, right? And I woke up and I had this fully formed poem. I knew the rhyme scheme, cadence, everything fully formed in my head. I get to where I want to start writing it down, and my sister opens my door. Whoop. I started yelling at her. My mom started yelling at me. She started crying. She was like 9 years old at the time, So it's just, she didn't understand. I don't even think I've ever apologized to her for that, but so let's get into the first poem. This poem is actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of Rush, the
band,
the band Rush.
I know Rush.
Their song Xanadu is based on this.
Oh my God! Right, when I was researching this, right, I actually saw the Rush thing, and I went, "Oh, it's not Rush," because I was going from Kubrick. I was singing it in my head, so I actually thought it was Queen to start off with. I thought it was Queen.
What is crap? I can't remember. Underneath the pressure, beneath the pleasure dome, decreed by Kublai Khan. That's the. I'm a big Neil Peart fan. He's a drummer and a poet. I'm a poet and a drummer. So let's start off with Kublai Khan. If you want to bring up the text for it.
Oh yeah, did I do that? Did I do that?
Here, I can send you the link right quick at
do that.
Here, let me send you the link. This is the beauty of live TV. Here, okay.
And stoners.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be so
Stoners.
healthy if I drink this whole thing on our live.
That's good. I've got Ribena.
Okay. Hey,
got my Ribena.
I have to get. That reminds me, I need to get my drink out of the refrigerator. Would you start off, Mrs. J? I'll be right back.
Oh, I've got to get it up first. Hold it. Okay. I've got to do magic things with the with my computer.
Yeah.
Hold it.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, I've got it. See, I didn't realize rushed it. I thought when I heard it, and I was looking it up, and Rush came up, and I was like, and then Olivia Newton-John came up as well. I was like, what? And I was thinking, I know this band. I've heard this poem before, and it actually ended up being Frankie Goes to Hollywood, who I was thinking of. Anyway, in Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to the sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers were girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed May, and incense bearing tree. Oh, is that why you put your incense on?
Mm.
And then I've got going. And here were forests ancient as hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery.
Cool.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. So I guess I'll continue.
Yeah, go for it. I'm stoned out, man. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon for me.
But oh, that deep romantic chasm which slanted down the green hills athwart in cedarn cover, a savage place as holy and enchanted as e'er beneath a waning moon was haunted by woman wailing for her beaten lover. And from this chasm, with ceaseless turmoil seething, as if this earth, in fact, thick paints were breathing, a mighty fountain momentarily was forced, amid whose swift, half intermittent burst, huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail or chaffy grain beneath the thresher's flail. I like that image there. You can feel the sound. It flung up momentarily the sacred river, 5 miles meandering with amazing motion. Through wood and dale, the sacred river ran, then reached the caverns measureless to man, and sank in tumult to a lifeless ocean. And mid this tumult, Kublai heard from far ancestral voices prophesizing war. The shadows of the dome of pleasure floated midway on the waves, where was heard the mingled measure from the fountain and the caves. It was a miracle of rare device, a sunny pleasure dome with caves of ice.
You get a real feeling of when you hear the history of Kubla Khan and stuff, and you think, right, okay, this was how long ago was this written?
200 years.
Yeah, you go 200 years ago. That story was there. Do you think that because of this poem that he's been pushed to be bigger than he is?
Wasn't it the Shangri-La, the myth of Shangri-La?
Yeah.
It's tied to Kublai Khan, Yeah. And I think this is one of the reasons it was because of this poem, because Wordsworth and Coleridge were superstars. Their lyrical ballads made them famous. They were superstars and stuff. And it shows you how this stuff can poetry and art and music and all this stuff influences culture, because like I was, well, let's continue on here. Let's, before I get into another,
yeah, sorry.
For another tangent here. Okay, I guess I'll finish it up. A damsel with a dulcimer.
In a vision once I saw.
Yeah.
keep
on going.
I had to look it up. I don't know what a dulcimer was.
A dulcimer is a dulcimer.
I did. It's a stringed instrument.
Yeah.
Cost $1,299 on Amazon, just in case anybody wondered.
Okay. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Aboria. Could I revive within me her symphony and song? To such a deep delight 'twould win me, that with music loud and long I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome whose caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware. His flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dead. For he on honeyed dew hath fed and drunk the milk of paradise. Now I remember where Coleridge was when he got interrupted. You can tell in the tone.
I was just going to say that.
He got done with the second section. He got interrupted, and you can tell. You can just tell the desperation in his words. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision I once saw. He saw that there. Because he got this description and all that stuff. I just wonder what else he was going to write. It's just one of those things. What else he was going to write?
I thought he did well at the end there to pull it all together, because through the different I don't know what we call it, verses, chunks, I felt like
that's good enough.
Yeah, it was the really dark, and then it seemed really light. So I think at the end there, that last line was really moving though, because it kind of explained to me like, oh, it's Kublai Khan that's bringing the dark, and he's just arrived at the paradise. So it kind of helped me assign that and make more sense of it.
Cool.
It was great.
Yeah. So the next one,
since the Scientologist in me, by the way, wanted to stop and clear every single word in that poem, and I'm not sure I won't go back and do it later.
Thank you for saying that, because I actually want to ask you if that was something you were going to think about, whether that was going to actually say, I want to just fun. Yeah.
But I don't know. And maybe you can tell me how. Is it crazy? But I mean, I've been in college classes of poetry, and you do clear the words. I mean, I don't think you call it that.
Yeah.
But there's antiquated terms. There's things that I don't know. And if I'm going to have the vision of this poet who's like the dulcimer, I want to know what that looks like. But there were a lot of words in there I've never heard before, probably because they're 200 years old. And
especially the ones I had a lot of trouble in pronouncing and stuff, because it's been 30 years since I've read this poem.
Right.
These are what I call lukewarm reads, because I remember, I remember some from it and everything and stuff. But this is stuff I haven't studied since I was in my early 20s. So.
See, I still, I've poets teaching me, because I have no idea about poetry. I just love, but I love it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how it works. I don't know how, set it all up and make it flow the way it does. I can't. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
And I'm not really a writer. I'm an artist, really. That's probably my key thing. But listening to poet and learning about these different amazing people that were 200, 300, 400 years ago, and they're writing these. That I always think about the time of where that person must have been sat. How they were dressed, that's because I'm an artist. I'm thinking about it visually, where they actually were put themselves to be able to write that beautiful piece of poetry.
Right.
Where were they? And I just find it incredible.
I do a little bit of that. but not so much where they're writing it. I imagine this as like a pop song, kind of like you're saying he was a sensation, you know? So I'm imagining this like fancy dude and he's vocalizing it. Total random side note. Have either of you seen the Jamie, is his name Jamie DeWolf? Yeah. The
Yes.
spoken word piece
Yes.
that he does about his family being an ancestor of L. Ron Hubbard. You know what I'm talking about.
I haven't. I know who Jamie DeWolf is, but I've not seen it. I will have to look that up.
His poetry is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant. And
so brilliant. And I think that's a way that I've been able to like when the poet themselves is reading it, especially in a form like whatever beat it is, but whatever comes naturally to them in that poem, that helps me really understand it. Because sometimes when I'm reading it, I feel kind of clunky about it. And when they say it, even if I don't know every meaning of every word, it's like how they say it and their expression and passion.
Yeah, and that's why that's one of the reasons I started my channel. You know, like I said, to go to the source. You know, when you're studying stuff like that, it's best to just go to the source. And these days, we can document a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think in particular that one that with Jamie DeWolf, like he's talking about his family history. I'll be so curious, Brian. After you watch it, please tell me what you think of it.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know, even if it's just one word. Amazing.
Yeah, I'll what I'll do is I've probably got that saved somewhere, so I'll get that over to you, Brian.
Thank you. All right, so we've got about 10 minutes left, and then before we can take questions. So I know I told you about the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, but it would take us probably 40 minutes.
An hour.
It would take a whole hour. So I picked a couple smaller ones. It's just two smaller ones, and then we can get on to some of the comments and stuff and get off here so everybody can go watch Marilyn.
Or Doug, because they're both them.
Or Doug, or do both of them. Who knows? That's after you leave here, who knows?
Oh, I've got another thing. You can actually rewind this stream and watch it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You can do that. If you missed anything, you can just rewind it and watch again. It's all in it.
Yeah, give me some more watch hours. Yeah. So the next one is the Knight's Tomb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's see here. Will you bring it up, Mrs. J?
I have it. Oh yeah. Oh shit! It's in the back chat again, isn't it?
Yes,
sorry.
It's in the.
Is it the first? Oh yes, I've got it. Let me just
There's
do that.
Knight's Tomb.
I can do that. I can remove that, and I've also got Liz's TikTok that I want to share with everybody as well. I mustn't forget to do that, so we can advertise that as well. Right. So, Knight's Tomb. And he's English, isn't he? Samuel Taylor Bradford. Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This is the Knight's Tomb. Okay. Where is the grave of Sir Arthur O'Killian? Where may the grave of that good man be? By the side of a spring, on the breast of Helvellyn, under the twigs of a young birch tree, the oak that in summer was sweet to hear, and rustled its leaves in the fall of the year, and whistled and roared in the winter alone, is gone, and the birch in its stead is grown. The knight's bones are dust, and his good sword rusts. His soul is with the saints, I trust.
Oh, that's lush.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah, I guess it's about King Arthur.
Yes, and Tintagel's about 45 miles from here.
Okay.
Where I live, where that is probably written, I should imagine.
I find it interesting the poet used the word good twice. They choose their words very, very wisely, and you only have so many words. The good man and the good sword.
Yeah, but look what happens to the good sword. It rusts.
Yeah, it's old. Even the oak tree's gone. I have a huge oak tree out back, so I really felt that passage.
Yeah, and I have oaks out in my front. They're probably probably over 100 years old. They're huge too.
Yeah.
So
I have an old people's home. That's what that's what I got.
I love it.
No beach trees here.
Okay, so the third one is Fragment 3.
Oh yeah, I've got it to me again.
Yeah.
Oh no, wrong bit.
So he I guess he wrote a bunch of fragments, and I love the imagery in this one.
So I get rid of that one. I go to there, and then not yet. I go to there, and then share. To there. Okay, I've got it.
Okay, dokie. So this is called Fragment 3. Come, thou bleak December wind. Come.
Can I just stop you there? Can I just stop you? Sorry. Why would it be called Fragment 3?
He's got a whole series of fragments, so it's just probably a little bitty fragment he wrote and it never went anywhere. I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay.
I do that a lot, so I can understand. Okay, so come thou bleak December wind, and blow the dry leaves from the tree, flash like a love thought through me death, and take a life that wearies me. Sounds like he was doesn't like the winter.
I was just gonna say, feels like winter feels like the closing. I think that happens every once in a while to me in the season, when winter finally really hits and you're just like, take the year, because the next thing that we're gonna get is gonna be a rebirth of spring again.
I do have a mild form of the seasonal defective disorder. I hate it. I don't like winter around here because it gets really cloudy and rainy, and it gets me in my doldrums. So Well,
then don't come to Oregon, and probably not the UK either, huh?
I've actually been up to to Washington State. My best friend lived up there one time, and I went up there to visit him. But it was during March, and it was sunny. So, hey, thank you, Keela. It's a really quick read. So yeah, I guess we can get.
Well, I'm just going to quickly say about this book thing. You're being very, very coy about it. Both of you are actually. You've both written a book. That's pretty awesome. And 10,000 stars to both of you for actually managing to do it, because it's such a massive achievement. Yeah, fantastic. And he loved it as well. That's lovely, isn't it? Look.
Yeah, and
there you go. She loved it. That's awesome. But you've also done another book which you've just published, haven't you, Brian? Which you haven't said anything about yet.
Well, yeah, both of them. The memories, memories card. Yeah, so memories card and so much dust. That is like I said when I talked with Liz on Wednesday, when she came on the scene, because I had All About Scientology ready for months. I was just waiting for the hi Goldie. I was just waiting for the afterword from Claire. So it was just like I was stuck there, and I wanted to get the experience with publishing and stuff. So I had that put together when I decided to go the self-publishing route, and I was waiting on my one of my best friends, who's also an artist, to do some illustrations for it. And I just said, screw it, just go ahead and do it. Let go, pull the trigger, and 420 moment there. Lost my train of thought.
Well, I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be more to say once you pull the trigger. I mean, that's one of the final.
Are you going to write another one? So are you going to write another book, Liz? Do you think you'll write another one?
Oh, yes, I am. I am going to write an entire series. I already am working on Confessions of an Ex-Scientologist Mom. And then after that, I'm going to do Confessions of an Ex-Scientologist Activist, because we all know how crazy this world gets out here and the bonkers people that, well, we won't get into that. But anyway, I'm really excited. I actually also have a novel that I had already written over the past 5 years. And it's very much has been a labor of love, almost more than how do I explain it? I'm really proud of the book that I just put out. but it's very different than the process of writing a novel. And the writing craft is something really important to me. So the challenge writing wise was much harder in a novel. Emotionally, this memoir was harder. So anyway, I don't know if anybody will be interested in reading this novel when it comes out, but it's a doozy. So many books, Mrs. J. So many books.
Yeah, I've got.
They just got to get them out.
Yes. I have several different. I know exactly what I've already got the next collection planned, and then the SPTV. I'm doing an SPTV anthology.
Oh,
which
Stop. What does that mean?
That means it's a collection of works from various people.
Yeah.
That the criteria is you got to be an SPTV watcher. Right. I want to encourage all you ex-Scientologists to submit to it and all that stuff.
Submit to what, Brian?
It's going to be called the SPTV Anthology: the art, photography, essays, stories, poetry, etc. of a grassroots phenomenon.
Okay. So you want to talk about how SPTV has exploded over the last 6 months?
No, I want the creatives and artists of SPTV to send me their work, and I'm going to publish it in a book.
Oh, okay.
So if Liz wants to write a short story, she can send it to me, and I'll publish it. The anthology, the idea of
He's
the
cheeky,
anthology,
man, isn't he? He's cheeky, isn't he?
So the idea for the anthology is because we have a very creative community here, I see it in all the different, the never ends who are doing their things and all that stuff, and I want to celebrate that, and it's going to be another fundraiser for the Aftermath Foundation, to get it out there and stuff. It's going to be start out with a hardback and go from there. So I have all the criteria. I'll be talking about that more and stuff later on. So cool. Yeah.
Well, for me, I want to really help, with the stuff that I'm doing with Alex. I want to support Alex in what he's doing, because I'm obviously in England, and there is a lot of stuff going on here as well as there is over in the States, and it's a kind of different kind. It's weird. It's different. It's sort of a different thing. I don't know how to explain it, how it operates over here. And I'm so supportive of Alex and what Alex has done over the last 6 months, and the fact that he actually got his channel going was a big deal for him, and I'm glad that he did it. I'm so proud he did it, and now he's using his skills that he's got to create what he's been creating, and it's fantastic. And I do what I do, which is obviously my cartoons and my website, which is IamLronhubbard.com. So it's I've got it all that I do, and I do my cartoons, and that actually helps me with my kind of religious trauma therapy in a way. I know it's weird, but I think about things that have happened to me and what a lie it was, and then using that and making it hopefully in a comedic way.
Her cartoons are pretty funny.
Yeah, I follow you on TikTok. I see a lot of them there.
So you want to go over some comments right quick before we got about like 5 minutes?
Oh, are we right? Yeah. All right. Did I star any? No, I didn't.
Well, I want to thank Sarita Fisher. She says she just subscribed to my channel and she's going to get my book. Thank you.
Oh, nice. We have a comment. Always amazes me, but I see a pattern, not just with Scientology. When turned on by people, they think they have to trust. They almost always are empowered and strengthened, driven to succeed. Driven to succeed, man.
I think I'm driven to succeed, but I'm not sure it's a positive thing. I'm still working out if it's leftover programming from Scientology, because so much of your worth is put on what you can produce. So
well, don't beat yourself up too much about it, because
I don't know what's real.
It's your intent. What is your intent? All the production and production for Scientology is all for Scientology. if you're production,
No, that's true. That's true. And the writing is for me. It's only ever
Yeah.
been for me. And that's one thing
Yeah.
that I know for sure. Yeah, the writing aside, for sure. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Let me know what you think after you read it. If anybody does read my book and they want to leave me an honest review on Amazon, it actually really does help.
Yeah, and those same
you know,
here.
As I said, I'm on it now, and
Yeah.
I've actually got a bit saved where that I was like, yeah, I totally get that. We talked on it. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Some people may think I picked a plant over my parents. In reality, I was done letting Scientology dictate my life on principle. I was never going to let anyone tell me I couldn't grow a plant that was legal in my state. That was an active organic medicine making a difference in a patient's life. I wasn't going to be bullied again. I wouldn't be controlled by L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, or any other submissives anymore. Bang on.
Mm-hmm.
Bang on, and it's bang on for me, and I thank you for that. Just that little bit, it was like, fuck yeah. I was like, yeah, I totally get that, completely get that. Yeah.
So I'm so glad that resonated with you.
Yeah, I'm like almost 70 pages into it. I like your writing style. It's very personal. It's like we're sitting around sharing a joint and you're telling a story.
That's what I was aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just sitting around maybe chatting, like glass of wine, joint, whatever, just talking. Mm-hmm.
Just talking and letting it go.
Okay.
And yeah, I've loved it. It's been great. I really appreciate you coming on, and
yeah,
it's what 9 o'clock in the morning over there.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday, and now it's 9 in the morning. Yes, but the silver lining is, I will tell you, right after this, everybody's asleep. I'm gonna go work on that. I'm gonna go write.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So. Yes. That's brilliant.
Okay,
have a wonderful day, won't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess sorry.
Last minute, go buy Liz's book, buy my book. More updates will be coming out. Leave me a review, leave her a review, subscribe, all that stuff that we got to say for the algorithms.
Oh yeah,
smash that like button.
Yeah, share and subscribe.
And since we didn't get to the Ancient Mariner, I figured that's going to be the next episode. We'll just do the Ancient Mariner. It is a very long, epic poem that is well worth doing it by itself.
It needs its own.
And now my dog is whining at me too. So,
well, think of me with my nose in a dictionary, looking up all those words in that last poem, like a psychotic vocabulary person.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that reminds me. Look what I've done here. Where is it? I actually did that. Where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. So I did indoctrination. I did exactly that because I was like, that I get it completely. Go and look that word up.
Got to. Just think there'll be bonus points for whatever words are in that poem that show up in my next book.
Yes.
How about doing
to show how smart I am?
Cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for having
me.
A
really,
Thank you for showing up, Liz.
Everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. See you later, everyone. Bye.